Hey, what's up, guys? Max here. We're going to be talking about the new announcement of Battlegrounds by Kabam. So, Season 20 is going to come in with a banger when it comes to how Battlegrounds works. But I'm concerned about one thing, and hopefully it's not a big issue when it comes to how Battlegrounds is ran after this season. So, there's a post here by the Kabam MCOC team saying, hey, introduction of Offseason. So that is the biggest announcement when it comes to Offseason and what it means to us. Okay, so now going forward, the start of this, right now we're currently in a break, which is what we've known and how we've had it for like over a year. A lot of the players have always asked is like, let's get an off season. Come on, let's get an off season for like at least, if not, I'm not mistaken, kind of towards the beginning of Battlegrounds. So like season 1, season 2, we were like, okay, we love Battlegrounds. We want an off season. This 1 week break is too long. We don't know what to do with ourselves. So starting not right now, right? But the next season, which is going to start on July 24th, when it actually ends, there's going to be the off season that's going to start right away. So as it ends on the 21st, the off season starts on the 21st, and that is going to go on for a week. And what node or what combination of meta we're going to be playing is basically the introduction to the following season. So right now, season 20, we get the details when it comes to the node. We'll cover that right now on season 20. But on between that 1 week gap, we're going to be playing season 21 nodes, so we can kind of figure out the season 21 as it starts, maybe have some fun with it. Actually a really good thing, which I think it's a super pro player, meaning like Kabam is actually helping us just to have some fun, have something to do. They could have gone and said, hey, it's not going to cost anything because there's really no rewards. But they're making it, instead of a 15 energy charge, which is normally what's used for energy consumption when using Battlegrounds, to a 5 energy charge. So allowing us to basically get a lot, like I think it was 14 matches with a full energy refill, which is quite a lot, keeping in mind that each match does last quite a few minutes. So you're going to be playing a lot of off-season Battlegrounds with full energy if you wanted to, or you don't have to. When it comes to rewards for this off-season, there's just going to be Battlegrounds objectives, so some tokens when it comes to those rewards. It's not going to be much, expect to get like, I don't know. I think it's like what 3 something thousand or so. I forget the exact amount. Leave me in the comments. Let me know. But you're gonna get, basically that's kind of happen with the reward. To the whole point of this, and correct me if I'm not wrong. From the initial, when players would ask for an off season like Battlegrounds, they didn't really ask for rewards. They didn't ask for like, hey, compensate us for playing, so this is going to be for those players that really are like die hard, like something like me, when it comes to Battlegrounds, and that's kind of like the only game mode that they enjoy. So here we have, basically that's the biggest summary of everything. Off seasons being introduced after season 20, and what the nodes are going to be looking like. It's a preview onto the next following season, so we're going to be seeing that, and there's going to be a banner which says off season inside the game. So that's already indicated there. The cost is right here, 5 energy. Now, before we jump into the meta and kind of like the nodes and stuff like that, let me just tell you what I'm concerned about. Okay. So everything is very positive. Everything is amazing. Everything's great. I love this off season. Additionally, what they changed going forward is that they're no longer going to have a week 1, week 2 node combination and changes to week 3 and 4. No, they're just going to have a 1 victory track node, a 1 gladiator circuit node, and that is it. So 2 things to be concerned about there is, what if the node sucks? And what if the combination of these nodes sucks? Then you're stuck playing this exact node for an entire month. We've seen it just recently. We came out of like a week 1, week 2 being really cool, really fun. Week 3, week 4 being like a complete RNG fiesta when it comes to like what nodes we're fighting, what kind of buffs and debuffs do we get applied to each other, right? And so that combination can still happen, and we're stuck playing it for an entire month. Now, that's not the alarming thing. I think the most alarming thing, which I found myself, and I'm basing this off myself, is that I get bored. Okay, so when it comes to week 1, week 2, it's fun because it's a node that I've never played before. It's a champion combination use that I've never used. I'm using these champions. I'm having some fun. Week 3 and week 4 comes around, and I'm like, hey, it's gonna change, and then I gotta figure it all out, And so as I'm figuring it out, it takes roughly I would say between 3 to 4 days to really tune down my deck and what champions I need. Oh, okay, I don't have these champions ranked up, so I'm rank them up, and then I'm playing Battlegrounds for the next 2 weeks. Eventually, after maybe like I would say 7 days, which is about a week, the first week, everybody knows what are the best attackers, what are the best defenders. Maybe you got a couple of players that are not playing Battlegrounds as often, still with some random champions in their deck but for the most part, everybody's running the same deck. And what ends up happening is like an arena fight. You pretty much opponent A, opponent B has the same deck, and they're just kind of seeing who drafts the better defender and who drafts the better attacker. And that becomes really stale and really repetitive and really boring when it comes to Battlegrounds. Okay, and so that's what I'm afraid of. That's happened to me before, many seasons before. When I'm playing, it's like, okay, all right, well, I'm just looking forward to the end of the season, lock in my points, my score, and that's it. And so I stopped playing as much. Okay, so that's the biggest alarming concern that I have when it comes to the entire month being entire node. I feel like players are just going to end up playing for tokens, and then we're stuck playing the same players over and over and over and over, and it becomes really like, okay, I don't care, and so I'm afraid that that's going to happen because of this one change to Battlegrounds now going forward. Now I understand and I hear Kabam, and the reason why they did this is because they want your rank ups to be valuable, to be used more than just 2 weeks. They want them to be like, hey, I did this rank up and I'm actually having some fun. I'm using this rank up for the next entire month. But my thing is, the competitive side, the kind of like trying to figure it out, kind of side, how there's certain champions based on the node. Hey, you want to play this champion this way, you want to start off with this, you want to do this combination first. This is how you nuke. This is how you take down the champion. This is how you succeed with this champion in 40 to 60 seconds. That's kind of all that it matters. You don't really want to be stuck in a fight, even though it's allowed to be 2 minutes. Most of the time, if you're in there for 2 minutes, unless your opponent kind of had a bad matchup, a bad situation, he doesn't have a counter for it, and you can save, okay, I don't care. He's not going to come out of this alive, or if he does with very little health, I can go all 2 minutes. The idea is to take this fight down as fast as possible, right? And so what we're gonna see is a lot of that, and so that's my own concern right there, that it might get stale, it might get boring, and then people stop playing. So if people stop playing, then Kabam will know, hey, we kind of maybe might want to change this, but I understand the reason behind it. I think there is obviously a nice touch to this because Kabam's looking out for players and their rank ups and stuff, but I think, again, just putting myself in these shoes and thinking of doing the same node for an entire month, and you can be like, hey, Max, well, it's not an entire month. You still have the victory track you got to go through. Players like me can go through the victory track in like 2 days, and be in the gladiator circuit for the entire month. So, is it my own doing, basically my own, like a punishment for doing that too quickly? I can kind of stick to the victory track for like 2 weeks, but with the new changes of like the tokens, if that's going to stay the same, I'm assuming it will. You get 2 tokens for winning, 1 for losing. So we're going to get expedited to the victory track through the victory track into the gladiator circuit. So, man, I don't know. That's my concern, guys. I know I'm ranting on this for a little bit now, but very quickly, let's cover just the season 20 nodes. And it's going to be Clarity and House of Mirrors, basically allowing you kind of like Alliance War nodes right now at the moment. So you're going to want to have some Clarity champions for those naughty defenders here when it comes to the House of Mirrors. And also you have a 100% chance to activate True Strike when intercepting the opponent's dash. These are the defender buffs, by the way. Well-timed blocks from the attacker start at 5 seconds. And if you do another parry, I guess, well-timed blocks, another parry, you end up with afflicted with a falter for 5 seconds. So, debuff for 5 seconds. So I know this is confusing. If the attacker is well-timed block again within this window, there we go. You get a falter for another 5 seconds. So if you parry, you basically get this debuff, and then if you do it again, then there's a falter that's applied. And now, yeah, I mean, you're going to want to basically, for this victory track, House of Mirrors, some of the champions you have. If you're somewhat a player that plays consistently and has been playing Battlegrounds maybe, or Alliance War, you have some of these defenders and attackers ranked up, especially since there is a saga regarding these champions. So there's good rank ups. There is also rank up gems coming soon, depending on your progression, how many crystals you've opened. So we're going to see that. And then inside the gladiator circuit, which is what things get interesting, whenever the defender is struck, 40% chance to inflict an armor break. This is once it's stacked after 5. Basically, you get an indefinite armor break. So we don't know the potencies of these armor breaks. I wish we did. I wish there was something we knew so we can kind of like stack on and have more knowledge about the node. Hey, maybe I need 3 armor breaks. I don't need to go to 5. Whenever the attacker is inflicted with an armor break, the defender gains an armor up buff, increasing their armor by 20% for 10 seconds. Whenever the defender is inflicted with an armor break, the attacker gains an armor up buff. So this is going to be interesting too. How tanky is that armor? That's again more information that I wish we knew. The defender's buff and debuffs last 150% longer. So this is going to be super interesting when it comes to like defenders, maybe with the buffs that are very annoying and to deal with. While fighting with a mystic attacker every 10 seconds on the timer, the defender becomes immune to nullify, fate seal, stagger effects for 8 seconds. So that's going to be interesting for all our basically mystic champions. So that's going to be really good. So I mean, looking forward to this gladiator circuit. And again, my big concern is that, okay, and lastly, just to end this really quickly, this is getting too long now. The rewards, the new emote that is coming out is super cool. I'm a little concerned here as well, because when it comes to rewards and the description and the details, before we used to have like, hey, by the way, these are the rewards, even a description of the rewards. Right now we're having nothing. So I'm assuming, and I hate to do this because sometimes we're wrong. I am wrong most of the time, is that, we're gonna be stuck with the same rewards. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not asking for like a huge change on the rewards. Already big changes are going on just with the work, how Battlegrounds is working. But I am worried because they're covering 2 seasons with this. Hopefully this is just the nodes that they're giving us and not saying, hey, we're going to keep it the same for the next 2 seasons. So hopefully we see a little bit of a tune-up, because tune-ups always enhance, always work, and always get players playing more. Come on, you know this already. You see it every time. I'm sure like this last season with the changes of what you just had. Hey, we messed up. You know what? We started everybody lower in the victory track, and now the matchmaking is completely messed up. So we're going to compensate for everybody for just hitting the gladiator circuit with Titan shards, and so that allowed a lot of players to play. So hopefully we start seeing more of that. Let me know your thoughts, guys, on this Battlegrounds news and announcements. How do you feel about it? I think it's pretty good, like I said, overall, besides my one concern of the fact that they're doing this 1 month meta. So, and only time will tell. For the next 2 seasons, maybe they're gathering some data, see how much participation they have without buffing the nodes, and just seeing, hey, we're going to change the meta. Maybe that's it. Yeah, looking forward to that, guys. Hopefully it's not boring. Okay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Take care. Peace.